Good morning and welcome to Science in the AM. We are recording, and if you're listening to this recording, you are not live, but you are alive. Anyways, we left off summarizing this diagram simplified. The generating station, so power plant. Maybe they're burning coal. Maybe it's water, hydro, twisting and turbine. Maybe it's burning gas, natural gas, something like that. But what it does is, by moving magnets, you can create electricity. You saw evidence of that before. Hey, guys, yeah, your attention, thanks. So we simplified this diagram, though, just with some words and how, like the houses and stuff like this. This is where we left off the other day. So that's what that diagram represents. I'm going to pause this recording because I got to update attendance for a second. It's wonderful to see. I didn't realize I'd stopped recording there and didn't turn it back on. So electrical energy production in Canada, we had actually taken a quick look at this the other day anyways, but all of our energy sources in Canada are important because they provide flexibility, energy security to help become self-sufficient. Now, for example, at one time, PEI was completely dependent on outside sources for electrical energy because it doesn't have fossil fuels, hydroelectric energy, or nuclear energy. However, the island now produces 18% of its electrical energy from wind and has become the first place in North America to offer a guaranteed price to anyone, even a homeowner, who produces electrical energy from wind energy. I'm not sure if that still stands. This book is a little over 10 years old, so. Hi, come on in. Across Canada, renewable energy projects for generating electrical energy are underway or being planned. However, as you can see in the figure below, now that's from 2007, so that's 16 years ago. This type of electrical energy generation produced only 0.6 of our electrical energy in 2007. It can't be replaced. It can't replace our use of non-renewable energy resources for now. To reduce the use of non-renewable energy resources, we have to find ways to use less electrical energy through technology and by changing our usage habits, in addition to finding them. Now, let's just take a look at this, and this is from 16 years ago and then 2009, 14 years ago. But in Canada, now I'm not good with colors. I'm colorblind-ish. But hydro is 60% of Canada. Isn't this hydro? Okay. You're just messing with my mind because you know I'm colorblind. I'm pretty sure of this one. Whereas 23%, at least 14 years ago in Saskatchewan, was hydro. We're going to Google this up because it changes. They keep it up to date. Where was I here? Coal is 20% in Canada a few years ago. You guys were born in like 2009, weren't you? Yeah, so this is over your start of your lifetime, so like the 2009. Coal in Saskatchewan at when you guys were born is 46%. By the way, I have a son in grade 9, not at this school. Anyways, so that's why I'm okay. Now let's just take a look. Nuclear. It's non-existent in Saskatchewan, which is surprising because that's where most of the uranium throughout Canada comes from. Because we have so much coal and it's already built. It's very expensive to build a nuclear reactor. And we already have the coal stuff and we have the industry. And this is a very important concern. The environment is important, but then people need paychecks and stuff. So in the Estevan area, especially where they do, you ever hear of Shand? Maybe not. Anyways, but they have a coal industry there, and they have the coal burning power plants there. And all of a sudden, first of all, we just shut off the coal burning power plants. And that's it. First thing, people are out of work, and that's a lot of people. That's devastating. It's devastating for a city in that area of the province. And then, where are we getting our power from? You can't just build a nuclear power plant overnight. You know, it takes a few years and it takes a lot of money. Where does that money come from? Well, slowly you replace these things. And there is talk of nuclear power being introduced in Saskatchewan. It doesn't happen. Um, so there's all kinds of things, and there are problems with nuclear energy in the where do you put the nuclear waste? When you hear nuclear, what do you guys think though? Do you think of power production or nuclear something? Nuclear blank. What? Bombs. You think of nuclear energy being associated with destruction and war and stuff like this. Why? Maybe because, and this is in your grandparents' time probably, the first time I think a mass display of nuclear energy was used was an awful on Japan. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, you've heard of the nuclear bombs that towards the end of the Second World War, and it's debatable whether it was even needed. So you see this huge mushroom cloud people hear when they hear nuclear. So across the world, our perception of nuclear energy might be shaded by that. Perhaps if nuclear energy was the first time people really heard about it on a mass scale was to solve some energy crisis in a positive way, we would have a different outlook on it. I don't know. Because people say, well, you can't build a coal bomb, you know, like as opposed to nuclear. So I see why. Anyways, there are some problems with nuclear energy, that's for sure too. I'm not in charge. I'm not a politician, and I'm not that kind. I'm not a scientist, actually. I'm a science teacher. But, so I don't know. I try to read the news and figure out stuff and vote for people I hope make responsible choices. That's all we can hope. Remember, we're young adults. We're not using phones. I'm trusting you guys. Me too. Terrible. Anyways, back to this. So nuclear is almost 15%, and who knows what it is right now. Oil and gas, 4%. Oil and gas, 25% when you guys were born. Other, I don't know, maybe some of you guys on an exercise bike hitched up to a thing. I don't know, that's other. Keep pedaling. There's a really good show on tonight. I want to watch some Netflix. Eh? Small portion in Canada and in Saskatchewan. Now, I'm going to pause this because I'm going to Google it up. See what it is currently. Okay. I'm going to thaw the screen. Here we go. This is Government of Canada data, so oh, thank you. I don't want to help improve anything. So I'm just showing you here, energy production, Saskatchewan. And this is Canada data. So I'm trusting this. It's pretty good. Sask. You can click on the whole thing, Canada, etc. Okay. I'm not going to read about crude oil. By the way, crude oil is just when it's you know the pump jacks you see if you go south of the city, Estevan and Weyburn area and stuff. What comes out of the ground is not processed. You can't burn it as gasoline. That's crude oil. We have a refinery, the Co-op refinery in the north end of the city. You see that? You drive by it, right? Okay. So they refine it. There it is, FCL's Co-op refinery and Gibson's Moose Jaw refinery. Let's see here, electrical generation, 2019, so 4 years ago. So it's coal and coke, and that's coke is a product from coal. I don't understand it entirely. 41%. What was it in the textbook? That's 2019. Let's just zip back to the textbook. 46% then. So we haven't made a lot of headway, but it's reducing, and that's a good thing. Natural gas, though, is now 40%. I don't know, did they have it specifically for gas? It was 25%. That's actually a good thing. It's still a fossil fuel, but it is a cleaner burning fuel than coal. Hydro's still 15%. I think it was 14.6, wasn't it? Hydro. Oh, no. Okay, I can't. I had 14.6 from nuclear. Okay, help me out with the, it is the 23, okay. I can't tell the colors, you guys know this. Okay, and then this 3% here is wind, and then a little sliver of other things, okay? Now, kind of think like, holy smokes, where'd natural gas pick up all this, and why did the others, we're using more energy, like from the time you were born to 2019, when you guys were 10 years old, right? there's more people in the province. And our province, actually, I just heard, I think, grew by about 30,000 people in the last, you heard this too. Anyways, more people means we need more energy and stuff. And then there's more industry to support these people and stuff. So as time goes on, we're using more energy and we still are reliant on coal and that natural gas. So it's not like our energy needs are staying the same either, right? Electricity. So their summary, about 81% of Saskatchewan, or 81% of the electrical energy in Saskatchewan is from fossil fuels. 40% natural gas, 41 coal, and a small sliver in remote off-the-grid communities. It uses like diesel, petroleum. The remaining 19% is from renewables, primarily hydro. And the largest power station is Boundary Dam, Estevan area, and it's coal. And we're trying to make it a better coal burning thing. I don't know if you pay attention to the news, because it was a few years ago that was really in the news. A carbon capture storage system. At least if we're polluting, can we capture that pollution and then deal with it in some other way, not just throw it out into the air. So we're trying our best. It is tough, like I said. You can say, just shut down the power plants. Well, where do we get power from? Like I said, it's a complex problem, and it's not an easy solution. So if somebody says it's just easy, just stop using it. It has to be a just transition, like a fair transition to the people who are employed by that. And it's very, very complex. Southern Saskatchewan, some of the highest solar voltaic potential, so solar energy. We get some really good sunshine. So SaskPower and Saturn Power's 10 megawatt Highfield solar project near Swift Current is the province's first utility scale grade solar generation project. About 2,500 homes though. How big's Regina? No, people, anybody know? It's about 10 times that almost, if you include White City area and stuff. Yeah, 2,500 people out of, like I'm just thinking of the city of Regina. In the area is probably 250,000, right? That's just a sliver of what, but it's a start. 2,500 people, though, doesn't make a huge difference. That's just a real larger size small town, right? Moosomin or something like that. I don't know exactly what Moosomin's population is. So it doesn't solve a huge, at the moment, it doesn't solve it. There's solar projects on the way. Well, and let's see here. Okay, we're not going to get into transportation and stuff like this, but you can look this stuff up. Anyways, and as you become young, you guys are becoming young adults right now, and as you become 19 and stuff, you have the ability to vote for people that represent you and make decisions. So hopefully, that's one of the many things. Don't necessarily vote on one issue. And I'm not into politics here trying to get this, but so if you're concerned about the environment and it's something you're passionate about, get involved with politics one way. If you're not involved or passionate about the environment and you want industry to lead the way and pollute, get involved with politics. Make it work. We need people with different opinions and stuff like this too to debate these things. So that's up to you. Anyways, you guys are young. I'm old. I'm not going to be around when this world blows up if you guys don't take care of anything. I don't care. I'm going to throw my chip bags out the window. Actually, I think polluting, you guys think throwing trash in the garbage is easy? You guys obviously never heard of littering, right? It creates jobs then too. People have to go pick up the garbage. I think it's a good thing. I'm being facetious. I'm not serious, okay? It isn't a good thing. I'm not trying to pollute the environment. Anyways, okay. Anyways, back to this. Okay. I think you guys have gathered by now that I kind of kid around about some things, right? Not serious all the time. Okay. You better have. Sustainable choices. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. That's what I was getting at with. You've got to choose good people to make decisions. And it might require a different way of using resources. Sustainability means no longer using non-renewable resources because they can't be maintained indefinitely. In the past, fossil fuels were used up quickly to earn money, satisfy consumer demand. Today, we need to reduce our consumption of resources so that they're available over a longer period of time. Renewable energy methods, though, are available indefinitely. So it's obviously the future, you know. We need science people to develop, and engineers to develop methods of generating power, electricity, and energy that is good. Worldwide, how does this work? Electrical energy. Okay, is this coal on this one? 40%? Okay, I really can't tell the difference between this and the 6.6, I think is oil. Is that right? Okay. My eyes fail me on that. Hydro, is that 16 in the world? You guys got to tell me the colors. You guys know this. 15% nuclear. What's this 19? Gas? Gas. So we've got to shift out of that, you know. That's what you guys are responsible for as young adults. So remember, and I'll show it to you again here. I want you to do 1 through 9 on page 280. That's this stuff. I'm going to talk to you quickly about it, and then you guys are going to do these, okay? Well, I'll put that back up so you know what it is. I'm trying to get that 280. I said 281, just take a look at that book because there's the little job thing here. 4 methods of generating electricity that use heat energy. So, I'll tell you this, that anything you burn is using heat energy. You could read up again in the textbook about solar cells and how they produce energy. What is the source of the most electrical energy generated in Saskatchewan? We looked at that. Even today, it's still the same as it was when you were born. And most of the electrical energy in Canada. 4, the photos below show the type of solar cells that are installed in the space station. Why are solar cells used to generate electrical energy on a spacecraft? Talk to me. To plug in, we don't have extension cords that long, that's why. And it would be a heck of a lot of fuel to haul up there to burn to create the electricity, right? So it's easier to use solar. Plus, out in space, there's no clouds and atmospheric things and stuff like this. It's a direct line. There's no not sunny days, you know what I mean, out in space. There's no nighttime in space either. Well, it's kind of dark if you're looking away from the sun, but the sun is beating down on us. Compare the generation of electrical energy using coal with hydroelectric. What are the similarities there? Well, I said it doesn't matter what with that diagram and stuff like this. What has to spin around and move? Magnets. You got to have, you know, it moves a turbine and stuff like this, magnets, and then there's method, then it goes through the generator. It's kind of sent out to substations and stuff like that. How do they differ? I think we could talk about that. That's easier. Right? 6, suppose residents of a remote community in northern Saskatchewan decide to use wood as their primary source for heating the boiler of the community's electrical generator. They cut down all the trees nearby and stockpile the wood for use. What's the advantages and disadvantages of this need? All of them, but I'm talking about them before you do them so that you have an idea, so hopefully you're paying attention. Okay, so you guys have heard of the Lorax movie or else the book, right? I actually prefer the short 20-minute, 30-minute cartoon. It's actually pretty good. You guys have never seen the Lorax cartoon? Oh, I show it in grade 10 science. But anyway, it's awesome. Okay, the truffle of trees. What happens though if a community wants to burn wood to fulfill their energy needs? They cut them all down in the area. What are you doing next year for energy? Nothing. You're out of luck, right? Because trees don't grow that fast in the air. So, but the advantage is that it's quick and easy right now. Well, extend that argument to then something like coal and so on, plus the pollution too. there's a problem with wood as well. Hey, guys, thanks. Okay, so you guys come up with some recommendations maybe for a long-term energy supply. You got a textbook there too, but we've talked about some of this stuff. What information about electrical energy generation did you learn in this section that you didn't know before? I can't answer that for you, but maybe there's something, maybe you didn't know at all. What are 2 questions you have about electrical generation in Canada? Create a chart that categorizes different energy sources as renewable or non-renewable. Just a T chart. You know what I mean by a T chart? Big line, renewable, non-renewable. Coal is non-renewable. Solar, renewable. And then list basically those little headings. Many people refer to nuclear energy as being renewable. Do you agree? Yeah, I don't know. Because I think there's only so much uranium that's really good for this. So I'm going to flip back. Those are the questions I've just kind of introduced those ideas to you. You got half an hour to do these. Let's see where we get to. This is what I'm pausing. Okay? I'm going to stop the recording and you guys are going to do the work. Any questions?